Before we jump into today's Chicago Bears mailbag, guys, make sure you subscribe. We're closing in on 33,000 subscribers. My boss has told me, hey, let's get to 33K before kickoff on Sunday. I said, all right, I think we can get there. Just under 300 subs away before kickoff on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central, which, by the way, will be live for a watch party, so subscribe and join us. Let's get to 33K. Let's keep the momentum going here at Chicago Bears Now because we have videos every single day. All right, let's jump into this mailbag. And Brog with the Super Chat. All Super Chats get the first word. Winning Cleveland, I see us getting 10 dubs. So what he's saying is if you beat the Browns on the road, this can be a 10-win team. And honestly, yeah, like, why couldn't it be, right? Browns are a big-time playoff contender in the AFC. You go up there and win this game with your rookie quarterback, Justin Felds, again, assuming that he is going to play and be the starter, then, yeah, there's no reason to not become a believer at that point. If the defense continues to play well after last week, if Fields comes in and balls out offensively, then, yeah, I think your idea of what the ceiling of this team could be could start to shift if you go and beat the Cleveland Browns. Sam Ortiz with a $2 Super Chat. I appreciate that. Bone bruise in the knee lasts 2 to 4 weeks minimum. Yeah, I mean, David Chow is saying it's Fields' time until at least October. And if he plays well, you're not going to go back to Dalton at that point. We have the quote from Pro Football Doc. I'm sure you guys have seen him on Twitter before. Best case scenario of a bone bruise, Dalton would miss several weeks. It's Justin Fields' time until October. So, yeah, I mean, I trust him. He's one of the top pro football doctors in the game. I believe he used to be the Chargers team doctor, not the one that punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung. Let's not go after this man. Different guy, but yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if Dalton played this week. I'd be shocked if he even played next week either. Wheel with the Super Chat. We need a college football channel now. I love college football. Subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Myself and Chase Sr. go live every single Thursday, and we break down a little college football. So join us for that show, Welky. We talk a little college football. Bear Forever, appreciate the Super Chat. Don Burr getting everybody stirred up. Hey, I appreciate Don Burr for this because it keeps the live chat going. Shout out to Don Burr for that, but the Lions suck. Joe Chavez, Don Burr and his Lions going 0-17. We'll see. They've been competitive, but yeah, their defense is absolute dog duty. Clay Presney, Don Burr, closet Bears fan. Justin Fields, 3 tutties and a win. I hope so, man. That would be dope if that would happen. Appreciate the question. Appreciate you guys drowning out the noise from Don Burr. That's what you guys got to do as Bears fans in the chat. Jumbo James, should the Bears sign Roquan Smith to a contract extension? Absolutely. You got to get this done, man. Extending Roquan is not negotiable. You got to extend him. Like, remember how much I was pushing to get Allen Robinson done? I'm like doubly as passionate about getting Roquan done. This guy is an absolute game changer on a defense. Like, you take him off this defense, I think you would see massive repercussions. I honestly do. The guy is unbelievable in coverage. He's super fast. He can blitz. He can break up passes. He's a tackling machine. He is a complete linebacker, and that is very rare to find in today's NFL. Got to keep him around. And if you agree with me, if you want to keep Roquan in Chicago, type me in the chat. Right now, type it more than once because Roquan Smith is the future of this defense. He's the present and I hope the future as well. All right, Caleb Clemens, Browns are the perfect team to end the Justin stuff. Justin Fields goes and beats the Browns, it's over. Now, if he goes in there and throws 3 picks and is uncomfortable, maybe Dalton could start once he's healthy. But if Fields goes in there and balls out, forget about it. Like, that's your starting quarterback the rest of the season and hopefully for the next 15 years. Rodrigo, how about Richard Sherman? I mean, we've talked about Sherm some. I'd be down. You sign Sherman, put him at CB2, put Kendall Vilder in the slot. Also, JC asked about Richard Sherman as well. He can't play nickel, though. Sherman is not shifty enough to play nickel. So I think if you were to sign him, you'd put Vilder in the slot, which I'm fine with. Vilder in the slot's better than Marquis Christian or Duke Shelley. Then Richard Sherman can be your number 2 outside guy. Works for me. Tamper the Lambert, he's a loyal watcher of Bears now. Browns 34, Bears 20, assuming Justin Fields starts. So you just think the defense will get trucked in this one? They might. The Browns are closer to the Rams than they are the Bengals, so it's possible. But you look back at that Rams game now, and you're kind of thinking, You take the 2 busted coverages out of that game, what happens? I mean, you probably still lose, but that game was a game until early in the fourth quarter. Like, the final score was not indicative of how competitive that game was. So, yeah, I mean, I think 34-20 is a little more of a point spread than I would agree with, but sure, the game could get a little bit out of hand. It is on the road, and it's a rookie making his first start. BetUS, if you want to go bet on this matchup, is the place to go, but you got to use our link. Open up a separate tab, type this in, chatsports.com/Bears. Use the promo code BEARDOWN. It's all one word. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus. Myself, producer Sam, we're still rolling on our money from last year. We put down $100, we got the 125 for free, and we got plenty left over. If you're a sports betting beginner, that's where the deposit bonus comes into play because you get that extra money. You take a look at the Chat Sports standings so far this year. We're betting 5 games a week against the spread or the over-unders, and I'm at the bottom. Thomas Mott leading the way at 6-3-1. We got a few guys at 6-4, a few guys at 5-5 as well. Boss man James Yoder is at 4-6. Along with Chase Sr. and Sam Brown. Brett Scott, Trace Gerard are at 3-7. Executive producer Jeffrey Cooperstein at 2-8. And yeah, that's me, 0-10. How in the F is that possible? Here's my betting advice. Whatever I bet the opposite. So fade Harrison all season long. Chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code BEARDOWN. It's all one word. To get the jersey deal, you place a bet. This is for new customers only. After you deposit $100 and get the 125 for free, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll get your jersey side. We'll hook you guys up based on jersey availability. As of now, we have Justin Felds jerseys available. We have this Khalil Mack one as well. Probably have a few others available depending on what you ask for. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. But you got to follow those steps we mentioned before, which are on screen right now. You go to the link, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code BEARDOWN, all one word. Put down $100. You get the 125 for free with the deposit bonus. Place a bet on any game for any amount. Put $5 on or against the Bears. It's all good. Then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Basically, you're paying $100 to get a value of like $350. It's an excellent deal. Chatsports.com/Bears. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Luke Thompson, appreciate the super chat. All-Pro Quan Smith, the next Urlacher. I mean, he flies around like Urlacher. He's definitely faster than him as well. Roquan's a beast, man. He's a top 3 to 5 off-ball linebacker in this league, and the longer you wait to pay for him, the higher the cost is going to be because it's probably going to be $20 million a year at this point. And Brog, another super chat. You've been balling out today. Never answered this, but I was wondering whose front 7 do you have better than the Bears? With Eddie Goldman, I have absolutely nobody. It's a good argument. Broncos are definitely up there. Producer Sam brings up a good point. They have a great front 7. But if Eddie Goldman is in peak form, you've got the Bucs as well. That's another good one. Pittsburgh is pretty good as well. It's definitely in the top 3 or 5, though, and that's perfectly acceptable. I mean, you think about Goldman in the middle, Akeem Hicks on one side, Bilal Nichols, and then outside linebackers of Khalil Mack. If Robert Quinn keeps playing well, you feel good about that. And then Roquan Smith, and then either Alec Ogletree or Danny Trevathan. That's a pretty stout front 7. That's really, really good. So hopefully Goldman gets back and is like his normal self. And that didn't even include the rotation guys like Mario Edwards Jr., Angelo Blackson, who has been absolutely fantastic so far as well. So, yeah, this front 7, it's very, very good. There's no doubt. Pat Riley, no relation, I assume. Are you comfortable with Nick Foles as the backup to Fields if is Foles healthy? Yeah, Foles is healthy. Yeah, I like Foles as a backup. He's just not a starter. He's a little worse than Andy Dalton at this point, but as a backup, he's fine. If he had to come in and play, he could run the offense and move the ball at least a little bit. Dr. Funky Fields greater than Trevor Lawrence. I think he's in a better situation, that's for sure. The Jags are a disaster. I don't think Urban Meyer's an NFL coach. Their offensive line is a mess. It could play out that Fields ends up being a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. He definitely was when he played him in the college football playoff last year. That was not even a debate. Justin Fields totally outplayed Lawrence. We'll see how it plays out. My thing with rookie quarterbacks, you really don't know until about 3 years into their career how good they can be. You can know if they're going to be good, but we won't know, until 2023, 24, out of these 5 guys, which ones emerge as the best. Because so far, you would say Mac Jones has looked the best. Is anyone out there going to say Mac Jones will have the best career out of these 5? I don't think we're there yet, but through 2 games, that's been the case. So yeah, I think that the early signs, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson have struggled, and they were the top 2 picks. Don Burr is back. Detroit got 2 wins for sure against the Bears. All right, man. We'll see. We'll keep taking the $2, though. I appreciate it. I don't agree with that. At best, it'll be a split. I think in week 4, it's going to be all Bears. How about that? Shout out a random Bears player. Think of just some of the weird names throughout Bears history that have come through here. Caleb Haney is the quarterback I was thinking of earlier during our earlier in our live show. Todd Collins, Jason Campbell, Johnny Knox. Yeah, there's been some good ones. So shout out a random Bears player. Dig deep. There's a lot of names out there that could fit the bill here. Busy Womack, how do the Bears lose if Cleveland's receiving core is banged up? The Bears don't stop the run. Bengals still have good players. We'll see if Odell Beckham plays. Their tight ends are nice with Hooper and David Njoku. Rashard Higgins and Donovan People-Jones are solid receivers. If the Bears don't stop the run, they could easily still lose this game. And we don't know how Justin Felds is going to play in his first start. So it's reasonable to say that the Bengals should be favored and are favored in this game. DeVay Dolly, do you think Tarik is done? Tarik Cohen, not a lot of chatter about him. I hope he returns. He's on the PUP list, so the earliest he could return is week 7. Hopefully by then he's ready, but it doesn't sound like there's much updates on him right now. It also sounds like, reading between the lines, that he did have a second surgery. So that, of course, is at least somewhat of a legitimate concern. So, yeah, I mean, nothing new there, unfortunately. Austin Rex, how possible is it that Nagy is calling Andy the starter if healthy because he knows he's missing at least this week? I will concede that is a possibility. When I did that video yesterday, I didn't consider that, so that is a possibility. But why not just say it himself? Why send the PR guy out there? Did that brain blast come to him 2 days or after 2 days of not answering that question? Like, oh, a PR guy, just tell him it's Dalton, and then, because I just came up with this genius idea that I know he's not going to play anyway, but I told him he's the starter when he signed him, so everyone's happy. I guess that's possible. I don't think that's super likely, but I will concede that that's at least a possibility that I didn't consider before. So could that be the case? Yeah. And then Nagy gets bailed out if Justin Fields comes in and balls out while Dalton is out. So that's the best case scenario for Nagy, because then he's like, well, what do you want me to do, Andy? You want me to bench my high-flying rookie quarterback? It's not going to happen. Adrenaline AK Bobby G. Love it. Can Robert Quinn be traded or cut already? Well, he can't be cut because your dead cap penalty is just disastrous. No one's trading for that contract. Good news, Bobby, is that Quinn played well last week. Let's keep it going. Let's keep that, that good pass rush ability going moving forward, because he has actually played pretty good these so far this year, especially in week 2. He's never going to be worth the contract, but yeah, I do understand the frustration. Blame Ryan Pace. Don't blame Robert Quinn. #Bears. We'll answer as many questions as we can before we can sign off. Also, if you don't get your question answered, just give me a follow on Twitter. It's @HGramNFL. Go ahead and follow me over there @HGramNFL. We cover more Bears news and rumors on Twitter. I'm always just talking about all kinds of sports as well, the NFL, the NBA, college football. Sometimes I do little videos when I'm on my morning walks and stuff like that. @HGramNFL, trying to get to 3,000 followers on Twitter. Help a brother out. Give me a follow on social media. Couple more here. Clay Presney, how hard was it to watch all the games this week because of all the flags? Is it just early in the year or what? The taunting thing's a joke, and yeah, it did seem like there were a lot of flags this week, so I'm with you. I hate the ref show. Let's just play some ball. I don't like all this extracurricular crap that the refs try to get involved in. Howard Black, predict Fields' stat line for week 3 if he starts. I'll just throw a dart out there. How about 21 of 33, 242 passing yards, 12 carries, 68 rushing yards, 3 total touchdowns, 2 total turnovers. Just did that on the spot. We'll see what happens. Amos Goldberg, better chance winning the division than getting a wild card spot, right? It's too early to say that, but the NFC North does look like a division where maybe like 10-7 wins the division this year. I know the Packers rallied on Monday Night Football, but is anyone scared of that defense right now? Obviously, Rodgers and those boys are still going to get it moving on offense, but I don't think they're quite as good as they were a year ago. The Lions aren't very good, and Minnesota's 0-2. So, Yeah, I mean, if you're the Bears, you should be thinking, let's try and win this division. You win the division, you get a home playoff game, anything can happen. Justin McGinnis, thoughts on Jared Goff in Detroit? Do you think they might actually be a threat? I think they're better than I thought overall. They're competitive. I will give Dan Campbell this. He's got those boys competing. Now, from a talent standpoint, they've got no legit receivers. Cephas is okay. Hawkinson's a good tight end. They have two okay backs in Swift and Jamal Williams, but they have no real big-time receivers. The O-line is actually pretty decent, but their defense is atrocious. It might be the worst defense in football. So if you're the Bears, you need to be scoring 25, 30 points against Detroit. And Jared Goff, while he's played fairly well, he'll also give you a chance to pick off a pass or two just about every game. So they've been better than I thought, but they're still a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Angelo Cervantes, appreciate the super chat, my friend. With Field starting, what do you think about getting Jesper Horsted playing time since they have chemistry? Look, I like Horsted. He's been inactive the first couple of weeks. I'll say this. If you're not going to use Jimmy Graham, then let's give someone else a shot, because why did you keep Jimmy Graham for $10 million if he's not going to play that much? So, yeah, we'll see if Horsted's active. They've been keeping J.P. Holtz active because of his blocking ability, which, at least to their credit, they are utilizing him. Yeah, I mean, obviously him and Fields had great chemistry during the preseason, but you got to remember, the preseason, you're going up against backups a lot of the time. Shout out to Wavy. Is David Montgomery about to be a top 10 running back soon? I think he is already. I said that this offseason. I think he's the most underrated player in football, not just running back player. He's a beast, man. 169 yards rushing this year on 36 carries, a long of 41. He's got a touchdown. In week 1, he had 108 yards. 82 yards were after contact. I mean, there's just no one's doing what David Montgomery is doing from breaking tackles outside of probably Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. So, yeah, he's good. Keep feeding him. He is an absolutely really fantastic, whatever adjective you want, running back. And I'd like to keep him long term. And that's something the Bears will have to consider after this season, because next year is the final year of his rookie contract. So we'll see what happens on that front. Last question here, unless we get a super chat. Tyrone Stamps, do you know Jimmy Screws? What if the Bears are good, do you keep Pace? Well, yeah, if the Bears have a good season, they're not going to fire Nagy and Pace. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. But if you miss the playoffs and you play bad doing so, then you could fire both. So it's all about winning right now if you're the Bears. And really, what's most important, how does Justin Fields develop this year? That's going to be the key.